everybody. I am Tamiyka White. I am the founder of Black Girl Magic Creative Series, and we are on. This is closing out season 1 of our podcast, In the Middle. In the Middle. I can talk today. Yes, in the middle. I'm here. We are very excited about. I'm always excited about every time I get a chance to talk to our members. I get to learn a little bit more about them. And that's exactly what this podcast is all about. It is answering the question. It's an ongoing conversation about what are you in the middle of? What are you, be it a creative project, whatever. Life is always life. So with a safe space always in mind, we are constantly trying to examine, investigate, and even debunk it if we need to. Find a way to see where that shows up for us individually as well as collectively. And I am going to dive into it because our next guest is the one and only Librecht Baker. Hey.
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's okay. I get it. But I want to welcome you and thank you in advance for taking the time today and closing out our season 1. We made it. We literally this is a 6-episode season, and but yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for leading the train.
We tried. Okay, well, I know you as a playwright, and I know you as a poet. So what we're gonna dive into, as it's gonna be just dipping our toe into the water. We ain't going to the deep end, girl, because I can't swim. Okay, so we're gonna make sure
we can hang out poolside on the sand.
We're gonna doggy paddle together. But I want to get into who you are a little bit more. Let the people know that's out there watching, out there listening, out there subscribing and following us, Black Girl Magic Creative Series. But letting us, and also sharing what you've been in the middle of. Are you in the middle of something right now? Is it a creative thing? Is it what is it looking like? That's, of course, within reason, and that's comfortable for you to share. But yeah, tell us. Let's start from I guess slightly the beginning. Who are you? Where were you on the night of? No,
oh, Lord. I have a good alibi.
Right. It tracks. But who? Let us know a little bit about you and your background.
Ooh, just in general, as it relates to writing.
How it relates to writing, however, and how identity, whatever, we celebrate all of that at Black Girl Magic.
That's
Creative
true.
We do. So I think I know I'm a huge fan, and it's another way to just introduce yourself and expand the fandom.
Oh, the fandom. So I guess, like, in relation to writing, I grew up in the library.
Okay.
Like, my mother would take my brother and I to the Long Beach Public Library. Not the new one on Broadway, the one that was on Ocean. It was huge, dark.
And Long Beach is like, it's at the place. That's where we're born and raised.
Yeah, that's the home base.
That's the home base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of my family's like within a couple blocks or miles
of the LBC.
Hey. So I would go to the library with my mom and my brother, and we would sit in this bathtub in the children's section.
Yeah.
That had a quilt, and she would just read to me. And then read, and I had a library card, and I would take a bunch of books home with me, and that's what I think feel like that's a huge reason why I write, why I'm in a PhD program. And so the library and
you're in the middle of a PhD program right now. Yeah. We're gonna get back to that.
A little bit.
We'll talk about a little bit. Whatever.
I ain't promoting no schools.
No, we're not promoting schools, but we do want to hear how that journey has been for you.
Oh
yeah,
that makes sense. So my mom introduced me to books. I don't know if she's like an avid reader herself, but she loved to introduce my brother and I to books.
Okay.
And then on the other side of that, my dad took me to see Mum and Chaz, this like German silent musical theater group. And so the combination of books and Mum and Chaz, just like I feel like that's my foundation for wanting to write.
Were they just traveling through Long Beach, this group? Or?
I think we saw them in LA. I don't remember where, but it's like they're on stage. What's an example? I can't even get it an example is, so say there's a couple, a man and a woman.
Yeah.
So they're in all black, very, like a stagehand kind of dress.
Yeah.
But their face is made out of plastic materials. And so when they would run to the left, their face would pop out to the right. And it'd be huge. It was a huge face. And so they would be running away from each other, but the faces would be making this connection or metaphor about relationships and wanting to be together. It was absolutely stunning.
And how old were you when you saw this?
Probably 11.
What?
Maybe 8, 11. I had my library card when I was 9, and so at 11, I think that's when I saw Mom and Shaz.
Okay, all of these developmental years.
Yeah. Then my mom took me to see Winnie the Pooh at a theater. I think it was at Wilson High School, so it's like a stage play again. So
Mom kept y'all like just enlightened.
She always had us doing something.
I love that.
Yeah, she always wanted us to expand our brain, think deeply, be intellectual, be good people. You know, I'm complex, have my challenges like anybody else.
Sure.
That's like, those two are my foundations for most likely wanting to write or liking to read when I'm not scrolling.
Right. I'm on TikTok.
Yeah.
Now where we are. This is great because this is, as I'm sitting here and listening to that, because, you know, I'm definitely, it's lighting me up, you know, even more so. We're like, oh my God, like, you know, young Librecht, between 9 and 11 years old. Because that's part of my origin story too. So I'm very much excited and relating to that because
what is yours?
Well, my mom gave me a library card. That was the beginning of it for me.
Okay.
And the whole, I mean, I learned how to read before I even got into kindergarten. She and my sister taught me how to read. So, but it's a falling in love with books and words and imagination. And then it was Fantasia, the film, the Disney film, like it was for your German production.
Yeah.
That made me like, oh my gosh. So I'm sitting over here like just relating to that, you know, falling into your story, thinking about my story and what we were, you know, how it all began. You know what I mean? But yeah. So, okay. So Long Beach, mom's taking you and your brother to these things. Yeah. So when did, I mean, that's the introduction. When did it decide, or has it been decided yet by this time that you know, young Librecht wants to write?
I don't know.
When you do something with this information, like what is she doing with this information? Is sitting on it, or
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like I remember like having Langston Hughes's book of poetry in high school, and this teacher, not gonna say her name, I kept thinking the teacher introduced me to Langston Hughes. Okay. All this time, my mother had introduced me to Langston Hughes, so it could have been, I don't know when the urge to write came about. I tried to take an acting class at community college. It was horrible. I'm not an actor.
That's okay. Yeah, but, right. But we love, but actors love words, and we need writers, and the relationship is real. But so Langston Hughes for you,
Shel Silverstein, like Where the Sidewalk Ends, you know, Light in the Attic, The Giving Tree. I couldn't tell you where it began, but the fascination with being able to relax and read and travel, or seeing other people's works come alive. That's really. So
any type of urge, like, are we talking like not necessarily pinpointing exactly? We've established that, but like, are we thinking possibly like grade school, middle school, high school? It was 4th grade for me when I wrote my first play. Oh, yeah. The Dancing Girl. I wrote it. I will never forget that. The Dancing Girl. It was like basically a knockoff of Fame Girl. You know, my mom want to sing.
Yeah, you know that might be having to be a Black Girl Magic Creative Series.
Yeah, but I have to bring it back, girl.
For the children, it could be.
I am all, that's part of our education and outreach series. Yes. Yeah. See, I have to, people pay attention to me. Thank you so much. No, but so that's what I know for sure. I can specifically pinpoint, but are we thinking, I mean, again, without it having even been like decided and laid out, but the library is doing something. Yeah. The plays are doing something. All the exposure that your mom is, you know, laying out for you and your brother there in Long Beach, German shows traveling through. I can't let that go. I can't. But I'm going to go back and look at that. I'll look that up. But you know, these words are doing something to you, maybe?
I just remember being so fascinated by the theater productions.
There's the theater of it. Yeah. Okay, theatricals of it.
I don't know when it stuck. Maybe in college when I took a fiction class. I tried that. That didn't stick. But then I took a playwriting class. And I liked this when we would like analyze the stories, you know, the plays. And that's all I remember. But I was late to my final and I almost got an F. So I woke up late. I almost got F, but I don't remember
You late to
when
your final for the acting class?
for the playwriting
For the
class.
playwriting class.
Yes, I was very late.
Okay, let's circle back to
Yeah.
that. I'm interested. Okay, so that's okay.
But
So we know that okay, it's in it's always gonna start in it's always our backyard, right?
yeah.
H-Town for me and
Yeah.
Long Beach for you. So it's happening. It's happening. We got the library. We got Langston Hughes. It's coming. But then, okay, so what else is happening in the developmental years? Okay, putting libraries and words and German productions aside. How is Librecht becoming in her journey prior to even getting to the playwriting class or the acting class, the playwriting class you were late to, whatever. So it's like, how is it becoming in the journey where you find yourself in the middle of in the development of Librecht, of Elle?
That's such a big question, but I'm not sure I'm gonna answer correctly.
Yeah, it may not be.
Okay.
It's pretty broad strokes around here, but I think you'd like just take your pick and whatever you're comfortable with.
Because the one thing that's coming to mind, like I have such many folks, a large family. Like with my mom, there was 13 total of them. There's a lot less now. Many have become ancestors.
I remember you telling me this. Yeah.
But my mom would always be insistent that we would have black dolls. So I had a black kid sister, and my brother had a black buddy. My aunt would give me, one of my aunts bought me a white doll. My mom's like, no, you can't have that. Bring the black one. Black Cabbage Patch, Michael Jackson, this and that. So that emphasis, having a awareness of being black, like my identity, culturally, just being black, that went a long way, but it took me a while to accept that as a young person.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like winning a reading contest. You know how they have reading contests in like grade school?
Yeah.
And the committee, I think PTA.
You would like read so many books for the summer and do that or whatever that type of thing.
And I won.
And you won. Okay.
But I won.
What you win, Elle?
the prize was a white doll. And it smelled so good. Okay. I took it to my mom. She's like, nope, you got to take that back. She sent a note. I was so embarrassed because she's making this big deal about me having a doll that doesn't look like me. And I didn't get it till later. So that emphasis on being black and being knowledgeable and knowing history, that has solidified me along with the books and the theater in my journey to being who I am.
Yeah, this is layered. I love this because now what I'm hearing as you share as much as you can recall, because again, these things are a long time ago. We move on with our life and all the things.
It could be the gray hair too that's making me forget.
Whatever job you might be in, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not ashamed to say it. But anyway, but I'm beginning to lean in a little bit more to that too. But it sounds like though. So while you're in the middle of this development, your mom is helping shape that clearly. Like this is like, when we're talking about identity, at least again, it's in the broad stroke of things, because we can definitely filter out. And we don't have that type of time, but just starting with the roots and the true identity of this is my daughter. This is who she is. Yeah. She's a black girl. She's a black child.
Yeah.
And we're not going to apologize about that.
Never. Yeah. On both sides. Both. But my dad.
And your dad.
And my mom. There's all the uncles, all the aunts, because there's a couple folks that are not black. One of my uncles is Mexican. On my other side of my dad's side, there's a lot of Mexican and black. Yeah. A lot of blended folks.
Okay.
But nobody ever apologized for being black American or I identify as being black, African diaspora.
Yes.
Nobody apologized for that. We don't have time for that.
We really don't. And that, this is so, I'm almost like, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking like, your mom, my mom, because I'm like, this is so carbon copy.
Yeah.
Like it was no question in that household in Houston, Texas growing up. I mean, on a Saturday, it would be Abby Lincoln, Nina Simone. It would be.
You had the good stuff.
Well, it depended on the mood she was in. I mean, she rest in peace. I love her and I miss her, but I'm just saying it depends.
Yeah.
Clean the house more than anything. But yeah, every artwork. Sonia Sanchez got introduced to her. Indazaki Shange got introduced to her. This is all before I hit the kindergarten.
What?
I know, right? But this is, she's a former Black Panther, so it's, it's all these things, right? So what I'm, because I was and that definitely was putting me in the middle of just, who Tamiyka is.
Yeah.
This as well as taking me to her African dance class.
That's right.
And her drumming circles and all the things. And I'm just like, man, this is who and you don't know as a kid looking back. So I'm just really finding this, like, look, is this as I'm listening to, is like, this is really just taking me back. But
it's like a lot of mirroring.
It's so
Yeah.
mirroring, and I love that. And I'm sure we're not alone, but it's like,
Yeah.
what if we can line it up, like what Black woman, what Black child, however we're identifying, is there's some similar. I mean, I'm sure it's a
Yeah.
common thread all the way through. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but so while we're while you're on your journey, you go into school, you're grade school, middle school. All right, we can fast forward if you need to. We can move around, so
Okay,
particular
that's
order. Let's
fine,
just,
that's fine.
it's nice. It's no wrong
Yes.
way here. But like, what else or how else is it? Because I know for me, even in that Blackness, there's also this level of being different. Like,
Oh, yeah.
in the sense of, yeah, I'm Black, but then it was like, oh, you talk like a white girl.
Oh, yeah, hello.
And and all this type of thing. And I was like, what? What? Hello, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? So I didn't understand that, but how still on this becoming, I discovered boys in well, they discovered me.
Yeah.
But I had my first boyfriend when I was in kindergarten, but well, but you don't know what that.
Yeah. But that's a thing. Like, that's a social thing.
That's a social thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So it's like in the social norms or non-norms,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's like, okay, I'm understanding that this is what I am, or how I am, or how I'm identifying.
Yeah.
Is there anything happening for you in the sense of like, okay, why you becoming this artist? Sound like you're becoming like this little artivist. You know what I'm saying? This little soldier out there. I don't know if your parents were developing that, and that was a part of their mission. But how else is it showing up for you, if any other things are showing up in the becoming, while you're in the middle of becoming? How is it looking for you on that?
I think later. So I also do West African drum and dance. I belong to a group in Long Beach. Yay. I love that group.
You can shout them out.
The group is it's Dimebra West African Drum and Dance Ensemble. I came in, I think I'm like the second or third generation of the group.
Okay.
And the goal is to like promote, preserve, and study rhythms and dances from West Africa, like Mali, Guinea, and then we do entertainment. Like, we'll go out, say you're in the audience, we'll dance, talk a little bit, and then you'll be invited to dance.
Love that.
Yeah. So being in the group, I think I've been in the group for maybe 15 to 18. No. I've been dancing 15 to 18 years. I don't know how long I've been in the group, but that's further solidified my comfort in being part of the diaspora and being who I am, moving in my body.
Yes.
And there's so many different types of Black folks in this group, in the drum and dance community, whether that's Los Angeles, Oakland, DC.
Yeah.
Everybody, every identity.
Cities in the country.
Yes.
To name a few.
Every identity, whether it's gender identity, gender expression, class, like levels of employment, no employment. You got the Buddhists, the atheists, the Ifa practitioners, the Muslim folks. It's so diverse. And so being in that environment has further solidified my comfort with being who I am, but also being able to just have conversations with people who are different than I am. Because some of us, we don't go at it, but we have our differences, and being able to accept the differences amongst Black folks is so hard. Yeah. But with these folks, it's very easy. They're very loving.
And it wasn't the dance group prior to, or was it the dance group until you got to the dance group, or was it still prior to that time where you just said, okay, Black folks are not a monolith?
Yeah, that probably took me a while to get to that. It's even in my own family. There's different folks. Like, I practice Ifa. My family's Christian. There's a couple of other folks that have different belief systems. Yeah. And it took me a while to maybe accept why people wear wigs, why I don't wear wigs, why somebody's quoting the scripture to me. And it took me a while to accept that the scripture is a good guide. It's an excellent guide. Right. It just doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for you.
Yeah, there's these nuances.
For myself. But respecting those who do. So so it took you a while to get there, and I seem to be that's our thing. That's okay. That's okay. Like, I'm a very late bloomer. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but even in the arriving at it when you did and how it has developed, there's still something that's, while we're just on the journey. Yeah. We're just walking in through life and just doing our thing. What if anything sticks out or as a memory or comes to mind that, you know, you could have been in the middle of something subconsciously, didn't even know it. But was that, again, it's like, you know, like you said, you discovering, not knowing that Black people were, so prior to that knowledge, you were just like, oh, everybody's just the same.
I think like some of the language that I have now around like us being complex, us not being a monolith. Like the different ways that we engage life and show up and approach different spiritualities and religious practices, identities. It's taken me a long time to have the language. But along the way, I always have support. I always have, like, I think about how I exist in the world. It's always in relation to somebody else. So whatever I do impacts my mother because she tells me. Whatever I do impacts my spouse, my brother, my dad, family members, or even just like doing this. Like we're in relationship with each other, and the relationship is so important because I'd rather go together and win than win by myself. Or if I can't have the win, you can have the win. But let's celebrate the win. Somebody's got to have it. So I think it was so much about being in relationship with other people and to other people. And that's, my family is such a huge part of my development. I always reference my mother first, and my dad will co-sign that. Then same, like the women in my family have always been like the foundation for me, even though there's men in my family, but that's the foundation for who I am choosing to be, or things that I don't want to be. So it's always this, I feel like I live in a collaboration, even if it's not always obvious.
So they were the family, your mom.
They're all the models.
They're the models prior to academic institutions.
Academia is later. I only could do academia because my parents let me be who I am. My brother loves me. Like my spouse loves me. Like I can be who I am because of friends, you know? So of course I make choices. To choose certain things. And then as one of my friends says, we have these frameworks that we grow into, these social constructs. And I'm very aware that I'm Black. So I could be whatever kind of Blackness I want to be. I could be whimsical. I could be Black Panther mentality. You know, like I'm using these like words, but really I could just live whoever I want to be. But I can do that with the support. And the reason I am the way I am is because of the support.
Well, this is great. This is good because now, and
there's whimsy in Black Pantherness too, and then there's like it's not one or the other. There's a variety. There's a lot of
Black Panther too. You're absolutely right.
Somebody will probably disagree.
No, I just that's fine.
Don't want to be so like binary.
Fine. That's fine. We welcome healthy debates. Everyone doesn't have to agree. So that's great, and this is good because as I hear it, it may sound like it's all over the place, but it's really, as you're sharing,
it definitely sounds like it's all over the place.
But I'm so keeping up. You have no idea. Like, this is really great. Everybody that's sitting across from me that currently that makes a Black Girl Magic Creative series, like, it is such a gift to get into, like, just to pull back just a little bit. A little bit. I respect.
We have quick meetings.
We have quick meetings.
Briefly.
But it's like, you know, we and like you were maybe possibly entering, like, we don't always see eye to eye as a group. And that's healthy. That's okay. Because amongst us as Black women and how we're all identifying and where we are as these experienced Black women, which is a part of our mission, that's exactly right. Of course, you're supposed to bring your full self as best you can. And like, no, Tamiyka, this is like, oh no, I see it like this, and however the language is developed. So I'm all for it. But what I want to circle back to is, you know, as I was listening to, and I love it because, like you're saying, you know, this seems to be the common theme right now throughout this conversation so far, and that is, you know, I'm not quite sure when I got there, Tamiyka. I'm not sure how it happened. And this, that, you know, and I've arrived late, but I can always say when I'm hearing, it's the family.
Always
the family. Your mom, it's mom, it's dad, it's the family. And how big this tribe, if we're going to allow to call it that,
or so big,
you know, but they are, like you're saying, hey, like, it's celebratory, in such a celebratory way, shouting them out and say, this is really how who knows what we're in the middle of, but they made Librecht.
I'm very, very grateful.
I'm hearing the gratitude.
Very grateful.
I'm hearing the gratitude.
Everybody has different life experiences, but my family will always show up. And it's not, I'm just going to show up when there's a funeral. There was a funeral like a couple weeks ago for my cousin's grandmother. So it's like an extension.
Yeah.
But we showed up to support my cousin.
In the middle of that loss.
Yes. This is my cousin and my uncle who lives far, who always travels to come to events down here because we're all in Long Beach.
Yeah.
But like, I'm very grateful to have the family that I have. I know everybody's complex, but I'm just grateful because I can go out to the world and do what I'm gonna do. Come back, they will check me. They will love me up. Somebody might make me something. I can text somebody, call somebody. They will. My mom is very opinionated. She is extremely opinionated.
And I've met your mom, but
she does not hold her tongue.
Yeah.
So, which I appreciate. I do appreciate. That can be a challenge, but I can go out to the world and come back. She's gonna be very honest with me.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because I love that. I don't want to.
I'm not sending this to my mom.
No, that's okay.
She knows she's opinionated.
But even in the opinionated, mine too. Like she has some opinions, but they contribute to the who I am, and they stung sometimes, but you can. Yeah, I'm grateful for every moment of it. Absolutely. So, but I want to stay just here for just a little bit, if we can, if I may, and that is in this great recognition towards your mom and your family, but even and the strong opinions.
Yeah.
But while that was happening in each era that you can recall, how is it looking, feeling, sounding for you on the other end as her child, while you were in the middle of just trying to, each era is different.
Yeah.
But, because I can say grade school, middle school, high school, college, I can, not that we have to give all that, those, you have to give all that, but it's like, but while that is consistently showing up, or if it is or isn't, it was contradictions left and right on my end. I'm like, well, which is it, Mom?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't want you to act, you better not act the fool in front of these white folks. Is it just the white folks we can't act the fool in front of? I'll be like, oh, I'm challenging, but yet she wanted an independent thinker. She wanted critical thinking. She wanted those things. But while you're in the middle of understanding all that because especially as a child, you're just like, we're taught to just listen to our parents.
Yes.
So where in the young adult, Librecht, younger, grade school, whatever era Librecht we're in, how is it coming up in the most consistent through line with the opinions, and while you're in the middle of understanding on the other end as her child, as your mom's child, how is that looking, sounding, feeling while you're trying to get this?
How is it receiving her opinions?
Yes, receiving her opinions. How was it like, seeing? Because one thing, because we just look at them, and I mean, I know I looked at my mom in just complete awe, and she was a superwoman, and she could do no wrong. But then when she did, like, when it was what the kids say, cringe. These, how. But I'm in the middle of like.
My mom has consistently been the same person my entire life. More as an adult, as an older woman, I'm finally. Older woman. That's terrible. I am older.
We debunk those in the middle of, while we're in the middle of that's crazy. Yeah. Woman of a certain age.
Oh,
no.
That works. Older woman. That's peculiar. As I became older, probably like in my 30s or later, I could finally see her as a woman with desires and dreams. Like, I didn't see her as my mother only. I could see her as a full-on woman who likes to travel, go to concerts, have a good time. And yet she's consistently herself. She'll always express her opinion. She'll always say, you should just persevere. I know you're feeling tired today, but you did this. Like, she's very, very optimistic. Yeah. And so the optimism is what I was always grateful for it, even if I didn't want to hear it. And she wouldn't know when I didn't want to hear it. Yeah. She would still tell me anyway. And so she's consistently been herself. And so I may not always been able to receive it. Yeah. And sometimes I would be straight up defiant. Yeah. I was told I would always talk back. So that's where the other part, maybe in relation to writing and thinking, creativity was coming in. I would always have something to say, or but she's just been consistent. But now as an adult, I can see her more fully as she is. She's not just my mother, even though she still mothers me a lot.
Right. No, that's perfect though. That's exactly what I
Same with my father. He's a man that has desires and dreams. He's also an artist.
Yeah.
Like my mom is great with math. She's great with stories. My dad is great. He's also like a visual artist. He's great with they're very talkative. My parents are very talkative. And sometimes my dad will talk in this way where I'm looking for the tidbits so that I can put the tidbits together. Because he's not going to tell me, if I were you, I would do A, B, and C. He'll say, well, in my experience, this is what I've done. Or my mom will say, well, you might consider doing this. So they're very talkative, very creative, both intellectual in their own right, both love music. Yeah. And so to have this balance, along with the different family members and the thousands of cousins, it's been really excellent. I'm very grateful. Because I know family experiences can be very challenging. No, and we've had our bumps. My mother and I have had our bumps.
Yeah.
Family has had bumps, but that is what's always kept me going.
And that's exactly like you set it up perfectly. Whether you knew that this or not, that's what I want to kind of segue to, because I asked that for a reason. I think it makes sense. I think it's all tying in, and that was because of everything's not going to be perfect, and there's no such thing exists. But I had the same thing to my talking back years with my teenage era. Yeah. I was like, she was like, okay, and I didn't know her to call by her first name. Wrong. Okay, face was on the floor. Like, come on now, girl. But even in that, and I was but seeing, I love what you said back a few moments ago about it was like in your 30s or what have you. I didn't really see my mom as outside as as a woman, but we were in the middle of a traumatic family thing. So I didn't, so you were just in the time. What it sounded like you were just in the middle of just a journey of just being the child and in your relationship with these people called your parents. Yeah. Well, I am in the same way, but it took a traumatic thing for and that was what we were like really in the middle of. So when that happened, it was like, oh, she's just not my mom. She was a woman before. She had life. She had this. She had dreams and aspirations. Yeah. And to step out of that archetype or that title or that pedestal, I guess I put her on, or we all do with our parents. I was like, oh, she's a human being.
Yeah, just a regular old person.
Right.
Who just happens to have these kids.
It's 5 of us. So, and I'm number 3, but it's like...
you're in the middle.
I am the middle child. Might explain some things if you know anything about middle children.
But the what's the word? Like the persistence? The way you persevere, the way you're very driven, the way you're very articulate in the relation to how you express your dreams and relay your ideas, especially to a big group of people, which makes sense when you have siblings. Like if it's us, you're like, I have this idea, this idea, this idea. What do you think? I have this idea.
But that was my mom.
Because
it was like when she was in law school, and I'm getting to my next question, but this is really great. This is really great because it's all tying in. But even in the critical and independent thinking builders that she was raising, I don't know what the rest of my siblings did, but I was paying attention. And I was like sitting at her feet, just absorbing everything. But if there was something that I needed, like if there was a dance or anything, like, okay, present your case. Like, present your case. Like, this is, like, literally, before we had PowerPoint and pitch decks and all these things, you had your poster board. And I would literally bring in my poster board.
Piece of tape.
You're right. Okay, so this day, on this time, and this, I would write, because she was going to law school. So this is my defense.
That's fascinating.
So this is what I have to defend my argument.
Yes.
So but all of that to say, without them not knowing especially in our early years, not knowing the gifts that they're giving us, you land in this thing that you didn't know you were going to land in. And in your case, it's writing. It's playwriting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything tells a story.
Everything tells a story.
The hair, the glasses, the earrings, like the nail polish, no nail polish, the clothing.
Lipstick, no lipstick.
No talking. Like
natural hair or not.
Wigs, all the things. Yeah, everything.
Because I'm watching these women too. I'm watching my mom. I'm watching my grandmother. I'm watching our neighbors. I'm watching the family friends.
Yeah.
But this is all informing me into deciding, I knew at 7 I wanted to be an actress, but this writing, but these words, this reading, this, making me learn how to pronounce it, Zaki Shangai's name, just throwing it at me one time in the the book at me on the floor when I'm doing my homework. I'm like, pronounce that, sound that out. I'm like, okay, but these type of things. So talk to me and talk to us about that. So now that we're here in this part of the tour.
Which part of the tour? What's our next stop?
Part of the tour.
Okay.
We're going to play part. Because now it's as I'm hearing all this wonderful background and you're getting, this, you're just being loved on. Yeah. This is beautiful, and not, we love that. We celebrate that. And shouting that out, and very well you should. Like, I mean, I gratitude all day. So how is it getting into... You're living your life, you're living your life. So how do we get in the middle of, or deciding, or the decision of, or the awareness, epiphany, whatever you want to call it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be a playwright. You were late to playwright class.
I sure was. I almost got an S. Well, how did I get there? I'm trying to think. So how did I get there? So I remember in 2008. Was it 2008? So one of my friends, Yatunde, she told me, she's like, hey, this is a Black woman who, what is it? She invited me to this spot in Long Beach, this coffee shop. I don't want to say the name because then I feel like I'm advertising for the company. But this elder, Black elder, beautiful Black elder, very respected in the community, does rites of passage for children, was hosting this event, I think, where she was collaborating where formerly incarcerated women were being welcomed back into the community.
Okay.
And so I went there. I went to that event, and then I met somebody else. They're like, hey, why don't you sign up for this event that Sharon Bridgeforth is doing? And she was doing like Delta Dandies out in Claremont, the stage reading, but it was also a workshop building up to the reading of Delta Dandies. I think it was back in 2008. Mm-hmm. In addition to all the participants creating their own work.
Now, I've heard of Sharon Bridgeforth. You want to give a...
No, I don't want to mess it up.
Okay.
I don't want to give wrong information. But she's like an elder Black woman who is actually a legendary playwright in the community. I apologize. I don't mean to discredit or not give enough credit because I would like to have prepared some notes. Sharon Bridgeforth, and look up Delta Dandy, that Black Mermaid. So I remember going to this workshop, and that's where I met a bunch of my theater friends. Like, we were reading Sharon Bridgeforth's work, but we were also writing our own work. And then from there, I went to The Vagrancy, and that's where we met.
Right.
And I wrote this other play, and all the plays that I write or anything I'm interested in, I like it to be intergenerational, which again has a lot to do with my family. There's all these, of course, everyone's going to be different ages, but I think the intergenerational aspect or relationships is so important. You got something to say. The elders got something to say. We've got something to teach each other, And so, you know how socially we're sold that everybody should be young, everybody should be thin. And it's like, no. We need the young and we need the thin. The young people are fantastic. I see them often as an instructor and the teachers in college. I think young people are fantastic.
Yeah.
Elders are fantastic. Yeah. We're fantastic,
Yeah.
The babies, they got stuff to say,
They do too, with their cute little cheeks, little thigh. I love that little. I just think they like drumsticks. I just love fat babies. That's just me.
With all the rolls.
I love them. I love that. I'm so obsessed. Yeah. No, this is great because but again, you can't. But I won't let you get away with the broad strokes of things.
Wait, what's the question again?
But the question. You're in it. You're in the question. Okay. You're in the question beautifully and organically because now you're like, okay, I got this. I went to this groove. I learned about Sharon Bridgeforth.
I know I'm missing stuff. I'm missing a lot of stuff because I started with play. I started with poetry.
We are not grading this.
No, I'm grading it because my foundation into playwriting
She's such an academic. I love it though. And I heart it. I heart you so much.
But in my brain, when I go back and watch this, I'm like, I should have said this. I should have said that.
You said it beautifully because that's the beauty of it. And I get it. And I can even say, as the host, as our host, we're in the middle, but it's like, this is what we want. We want people to when you tune in, you're just talking to your friend. You're just talking to your friend.
The friend that doesn't like the spotlight.
Be careful with her. But no, but we must protect at all costs. Yeah. For sure, because that is this is something that when one steps out of their comfort zone, but they're still providing such great information on how these things become, how these things are developed, how individuals and stories are coming to be. And I just find it very fascinating. And I'm, you have your theater friends, but I have my playwright friends.
Yes.
I have my playwright friends, and yes, I'm in theater. Yes, I'm an actor. I can do, and I direct theater. But I love, and I have written a play. It needs a lot of work, but I want to know. But I'm fascinated how you get into that. How you get into the world, and even mentioning, a vacancy, how we met. Your play, that's my only preference, but I'm, and maybe I'm biased. I am. I'll claim it as such. You know what I mean? But I love that play.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
And it has some work. I do have work that I need to fix or be having
Sure, it's always
awareness
developing.
for.
It's always, and that's the beauty that I'm understanding about playwrights, right? Like how we can get, like, I want to get in the mind, I want to get in the middle, I want to get in a little bit of the brain of the playwright's brain,
Right.
because it's like very, very fascinating, like how we, writers, period. Like, because you could say you could write, look at playwrights now, even for the industry, where we at Black Girl Magic, at BGMCS, like, okay, yeah, we're a multimedia platform. We're not just doing film and
all the things.
We're cross pollinating. You know what I mean? We're cross. So, but playwrights are in television. They're in the writer's room. They're saturated. They're dominating the writer's room. Not that that's of any interest, because everybody's journey is their own. But in this case, you're specifically, you'll go where you'll go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And wherever you think
that would be the goal, just to be a writer. But right now, I am in academia.
But it's okay, and we're gonna claim it as you. That's good. That's all I know. It. How we're broken down at BGMCS. We have our writers, we have our directors, we have our writers, and we let it be, and our writers let it be known. I'm a writer. Yeah. That's it. And I'd be like, duly noted. Yeah. But it's still in the conversation of when you're in the middle of doing, being at the group and finding about the incarcerated women, and it takes you here, and it takes you here, and it takes you here, taking you to, I don't know, and then taking you to your playwright final. You know what I mean? I don't know where it takes you. I don't know if it's necessarily in that order.
Oh no, that was way in the beginning.
It was way in the beginning. Okay, but but let's back up to the beginning then. And
I think it was in the beginning.
Okay, all right, just sneak it in. But it's like, but still, it's okay. But even if that is the case, no particular order, even if it's out of sequence, that's fine. There's still this thing when you do catch on, when you do latch on to it. You need to do something with these words, because that's what I always just look at. What y'all, playwrights are wordsmiths. They're just like, you just putting these words together and putting them in this way. That's why we, a Sharon Bridgeforth, an August Wilson, a Cheryl Way, even
Procleag or Cleag,
Procleag or Cleag. I know. I always I want to make sure I spell. I thought, I'm pronouncing the Queen's name.
Everybody. Anastasia Renee.
Oh my God.
It's all the people. Troy Rocket, like
A.K. Payne, Fertile Paradise.
Shamika Cunning. Shamika. I'm waiting for Shamika to get back on the stage. Hint.
Okay, if you're watching. Yeah, but how does
Abe Sabata? There's so many folks.
Right. So how do we get Librecht Baker in that conversation too? And no, you're not. Y'all are not good at this. Y'all not good at they're not promoting. They're not gonna nobody. They'll praise everybody else, but nobody praising them. Please, oh my God, what you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, it's like kryptonite. You know, but it is the truth. Yeah, those words were beautiful in your play. Thank you. And I know it needs work because it always needs work. But how do you get in the middle of deciding? I'm just going to write this story. Now, what, for instance, without going into that particular piece where we met, how did you get into that into that particular project?
I don't even. Okay, I'll tell you one project that I did that I got into. Okay, I could tell you it's a combination of things. So this play, I forgot what it was called, is a one act. It was produced by Anna Bernal and folks at Q Youth Foundation. Okay, very lovely. That's another group of folks that I felt like I've just been loved on by. Love that. So the play had a combination of.
Was that the one that took you to Temecula?
No. No, Temecula was for vacation, so I could be in that little house by myself. Was it Dorland?
Oh, right.
Residency.
Yeah, that residency.
Yeah, and I found out about that from S. Pearl Sharp.
She's an ancestor for that, right?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Glad to do it. Glad to do it. Admit every word.
thinking.
Of course.
So the play, like one act that was produced by Q Youth Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
it was a combination of the knowledge that I was learning from Queen Hollins, who is the woman who was collaborating with another organization to welcome formerly incarcerated women back into the community. So she runs this organization called Earth Lodge, and it's a beautiful
Queen does.
spiritual community.
Okay.
So the play included like spiritual knowledge that I learned from her about the chakras, about like, ancestors. So it included that, and it also included dance that I learned from being part of Dembe Bra, going to Homeland Cultural Center in Long Beach and taking like the weekly dance classes run by the artistic director, who's Indela Diasi Davis. So the play was a combination of those things. And it felt so good, but it was also a combination of having respect for the intergenerational relationships amongst women. And my one friend directed it. She probably wouldn't be comfortable with me saying her name, but she directed it.
Sure.
And so at the time I wasn't in academia. She's an academic. She's a full-on professor. And so it's all these different areas of my life that is coalescing, coming together to create this one piece.
Yeah.
Which is, that's as detailed as I can tell you about bringing everything together. Now, taciturn beings, I don't know exactly where that came from, but again, it has a lot to do with spirituality.
Yeah.
And I guess sometimes the characters will just write themselves. I know folks say that all the time, but just it'll be like one character and then the voice will just start going and going. Then it'll be a second character, or there'll be like these nuances. Like I can constantly hear the fan that's running over here, and it's not loud at all.
No,
but it's part of the environment.
It's a part of our environment.
It tells us that it signals that it's warm in here, and then when you go, your earring dangles. So it's like all these little nuances that will come together either in verbal language.
While you're in the middle of this podcast episode, talking about in the middle, you're catching everything in your environment, which is the mind of a playwright.
Yes, but everything is talking.
The words are talking to you.
Even if it's not verbal.
And not even verbal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm always like listening for some form of, I guess, voice or something to like say something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something, a piece of jewelry, a curtain, a flower, like even this clanking that's happening on my bracelet, I'm very aware that it's clanking and I don't want it to clank too loud, but that's part of being in the middle.
It's part of existing and living.
I love voices. I think people are fantastic. I won't cuss. I love to cuss.
That's great. I'm a fan. Yeah.
Some people are just fucking wild.
No.
Yeah, some people,
they are fucking wild. You're right.
But I think as a person who's an artist, I shouldn't make that face. That makes me think of conversations I had with my dad about being an artist versus a creator or a curator.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think about having the responsibility to the communities that I belong to. And that if I go out into the world, whether that's the play goes out by itself or something we do goes out by itself. Like once we produce it, it belongs to the audience.
Yeah.
Belongs to everybody else who's talking about
the
it.
Gifts that you
even if it's just, one-on-one person, it has to represent well. Like I can't go out in the world or I can't do stuff and act a fool because I've done that plenty of times. But now I feel I'm aware of being more accountable to not just representing myself, but having this awareness about representing my ancestors, representing the different communities that I belong to that have loved on me so much. Even the challenges, even the people that I have grief with or strife with, like everything is part of it.
A gift from the universe. And
this is a lot of talking.
No, this is great. No, this is great. And this is great. And I think this is a perfect way to
close out.
No, I think you just did it. In the most more than you'll give yourself credit for. I will do it. Because this was wild in the best way.
I hope so.
No,
Thank you, Tamiyka, because
it was such a great.
I was grumpy before I got here. You saw when I came in the door,
I'm so used to it every time I see, and I mean in the most loving, respectful way. I'm like, but you eat but it's like that's. I get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I get it. And it's like, but it's nothing. You could have not given me and hopefully the people that see this a better gift, just being your authentic, beautiful self.
Well, I want to say something before we close out.
Yes, please.
So one thing I have learned with working with us, with Black Girl Magic Creative Series, like the constant invitation to bring our whole selves, but to be honest and sit with the discomfort, especially if we don't like. an idea or like something doesn't sound good, like to sit in that moment. Because me, I will like shut down. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Let me just go someplace else. But all of us together has helped me grow and taught me to just be in the discomfort, be in the conversation, show up however we show up. Sometimes it's in the evening, people hungry, you know, getting off work, relaxing, but to be able to show up and hold space for one another.
Yeah.
I think that's so beautiful about all of us and the folks that will eventually come in and join Black Girl Magic Creative Series. I'm very, very grateful for that. I know folks are going to come in. I know applications open. But I just want to say that I'm very grateful for this. And I also appreciate your enthusiasm. You are brilliant. You have so many big, beautiful ideas. And I just wish for those ideas to manifest in a way that gives you what you need. The abundance, the love. Because people need to see you and you need to be seen on the screen. And I know how hard you work and you do the self-tapes and put yourself out there, have challenges and bumps. But I just want to acknowledge the beauty that you are. You just you have such a huge spirit, big ideas, and your ideas deserve to be seen. Your manager needs to send you out all the time. You need to be taping overseas, you know?
Yeah.
I wish that for you. I really do. So I just want to say thank you so much. And may Ella's spirit, may she always rest in peace. I wish life, peace, and progress, the spirit of Ella Turin, Ibae, and Aaron, and Val, and Sonia. Everybody's fantastic. I've learned to be with us, and I'm very grateful. I've had my hard moments with us, and I'm still very, very grateful. Just, but that's what I wanted to tell you. Yes, yeah, so
I couldn't ask for a better ending. Felicia is the owner here at Moore's Media Studios. And thank you so much. Yeah, and she keeps us honest with our time, and I thank you for that as the engineer for our episodes. And we were talking how we wanted to also mention our membership drive, but our member, Librecht, just did it beautifully. She just really did it organically because our membership drive is open. Our applications are in the bio on our Instagram page. It's also in the bio on our website, demoreal.com/BGMCS. And thank you so much for saying that.
You're welcome.
I love us. I'm to steal from the great Monique. I love us for real.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah.
I love us for real. There is nothing that Black women can't do.
We do everything.
We do everything.
We do all
so to be in that and to be in to grab you the time that I did grab you and you come on board and you've been with us ever since. You've been here as representing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more grateful. We are, we're getting ready to film our next short film, which I'm so excited for.
Yeah, it's your film.
It is my film that I've written. Film. You see how she pivoted back? She always just put it. I'm on to her. I'm on to her.
Don't be telling my tea.
But I love you so much. I really do.
I know.
I consider every last one of us sisters. Yeah. But yes, please make sure that thank you for closing out the season.
You're welcome.
Thank you for closing out season 1.
Thank you for having me and dealing with my grumpiness because I came in.
We welcome all it was beautiful grumpiness. I couldn't even tell. It was gorgeous. But please make sure that you follow us on Instagram. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on LinkedIn. Right? We are subscribed to our YouTube channel. And also you can always find us on our website, DemoReal, as I mentioned before, demoreal.com/BGMCS. And if you want to know what's really going on all the time, we have our monthly newsletter, The Magic Memo.
Oh, yeah. It's super cute.
It's super cute. I know, right? So I just want to say thank you for joining in. And welcoming us and supporting us. Shout out again to Moore's Media Studios. We love this partnership, and we just getting started. So we're gonna definitely keep that going. So again, in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your summer, and always stay tuned for season 2 when we kick it back up in 2027. While we continue the conversation of what we're in the middle of, because we're in the middle of all of it. Okay, so thank you. Bye.